Okay, so how I'd automate a consulting firm if I just walked in today. If you're a consulting firm owner or somebody working in a consulting firm watching this video is going to be about what I would exactly do if I come in as an AI consultant, or let's say an AI automation consultant, more specifically, into your consulting firm, suggesting areas which can potentially be automated and be made more simpler, more efficient with AI, and so that you and your team members have to do a lot of less manual work and let's say less work that gets repeated again and again. Okay, so basically I'm just going to explain like the whole process, like how is it going to look like. In this video I'm just taking a single month's idea or a roadmap, that what are the processes we'll have to go through during this first month of implementing AI into a concerning firm. Okay, so I'm not going to make this video real long. I'll just make it short for you to watch. And let's just get into this first point, which is mapping reality. So, which is week one. So, let's say I just came in as an AI consultant and we signed a deal that, okay, let's work together. So, in the first week, I'll just map the reality. What do I mean by it? So, it's like everyone wants to jump straight to let's buy some AI tools and let's just implement them. Let's just teach our team members how to use them and stuff. But it isn't exactly how it works. Then like what's the point of being a consultant, right? Um, because you are a consulting. Now again, if you're a viewer who has any relation to a consulting firm, you will understand that the whole idea of consulting is to create or suggest solutions specific to the other person or other businesses situation or their kind of processes, their operations and stuff. So before they even know what's broken or can be just made better with AI, businesses often just want to jump into the using AI tools part. But that's not how it works. We just have to first analyze what problems are there in the first place, which need to be solved using AI, right? And yeah, when you just try to straight away implement AI into your business and use some AI tools, which without even knowing what problem is it going to solve or what problems are you even facing right now, it just slides away 2 to 3 months of yours with no actual results. Okay, so before anything, before any single step, I'll just map out how everything actually moves. So I'll just map out how operations work, how processes work. Let's say whenever your consulting firm starts any consulting project, how does it look like? Where does it start? Where does it end? What are the processes in between? How does the coordination work and all that stuff? So what exactly I'll do is, first of all, sit with analysts, consultants, and managers. So we'll just have a uh, set of back-to-back meetings where I would understand your specific way of working and your specific way of operating your consulting firm. Then I'll just watch how real work happens, not the SOPs that you already have, like the fundamental SOPs you try to follow. I'll map out exactly how work, you know, flows inside your consulting firm, and then I'll just track everything in a project from lead to delivery to follow up. As I said, from everything from the start to end, like how do you acquire the lead, how do you create this proposal, then how do you analyze the market for them, how do you diagnose their business, all that stuff. And all the way to when you actually finally consult them a solution to their problem, right? Now, here are the four things I'll just map out. So, first of all, where the work starts, where the work gets stuck, where the work gets repeated, and where judgment matters. Real quick, if I explain where the work starts, as I said, where the work gets stuck. So, wherever you face any coordinative problems or any creative sort of problems, or let's simply say in the state of in the process of synthesis or getting a diagnosis for the other business, is there anything that you get stuck between, or is there any work, is there any task that just keeps you from moving forward for a decent time, right? Then where the work gets repeated. So inside this whole process of you actually consulting the other business, where does the work gets repeated? What is that specific task, or what is that specific process which just remains exactly the same, or at least 80 to 90% the same every single time you perform it, and you just have to do it over and over again for each consulting project. Then I'll just map out where the judgment matters. So, where do actually humans necessarily have to come into the situation to make some decisions or to judge something? Let's say you have to create a proposal, and there a judgment matters, that what things to include, what things to exclude. Then, inside a diagnosis or inside the actual consulting, where you have to map out, where you have to just judge the, other companies' politics and all that stuff. So by the end of this week, by the end of week one, I'll just exactly know where humans are wasting their intelligence. What I mean by wasting their intelligence is where humans are doing so much of this boring and repetitive work, such that they aren't actually using their consciousness to perform that specific task, but it just gets them burnt out, right? So that's our idea for the week one. Now, week two, which is start eliminating stuff. So here we actually take some aggressive actions towards eliminating processes or tasks for you. So eliminating all the dumb stuff or tasks that cost you time. Also, what gets eliminated first? First of all, writing proposals or insights or slides, because it's kind of a repetitive work that you just have to do every single time you consult the other business, which can be very efficiently done by AI. And what eventually matters in this process, let's say if we take the example of these proposals or creating insights or slides, then the only part here where a human is needed is the judgment, like where what things to include, what things to exclude. Um, is the final copy of this proposal or insight exactly how you want it, or is there any are there any tweaks you want to make? So all that stuff, and then AI handles all the first drafts. So all the first drafts of these proposals, insights, slides, or whatever you say, AI just handles all those first drafts, and all you have to do is just judge the content inside that first draft to either include it or exclude it, right? Then copy pasting between docs, tools, emails, slides. Now, of course, if a human is acting as middleware, you already lost. Like the copy pasting stuff is just so basic. It's so easy, and why you have to waste your manual time doing it? And then status chasing with the project members. You just have to, inside a consulting project, you just have to coordinate with each of the project members about the status of the project so that just the things move smooth, or the things just always are coordinated, but it isn't always necessary that you have to do it yourself. AI can literally do that for you. AI can do that chasing for you, because what happens is all you have to do is just update the project status into this, let's say, this imaginary dashboard where you store all your project's progress. And this is such a simple task that AI can do it for you. Literally, like the whole thing is automatic. Once you just complete a task, AI can automatically detect it and update the dashboard, update all these status so that you don't have to do it manually. And also, if you're a team member who's looking forward to know what the project status is right now, you can just go to that AI dashboard where the project's progress is saved, and you can just view every single thing that has been done and that's still being done, right? Now, the internal knowledge lost from your past projects. So, all the past projects that you've done previously, they do store a lot of useful IP, which is, of course, intellectual property. And literally 40 to 60, anywhere between 40 to 60% of that intellectual property that you have used in your previous projects can be reused for new consulting projects. Let's say you're working in the same industry, let's say you're working in the same niche, then you can just use those specific resources for this new task, and a lot of the manual work is just gone like that, right? So in order to reuse that thing, you just have to maintain all those records. But maintaining all those records manually isn't that simple even. So what happens is AI can just do the resource and knowledge retrieval for you. Because basically that AI can just store all these previous resources or all these previous intellectual properties for you in a, let's say, in a system. And whenever you want any relevant resource from, let's say, this other current project that you're on, then you can just tell the AI to find a resource which is relevant to this new project, and then AI can do that researching stuff for you, right? So you don't have to employ this other person to just go through all these previous projects that you have and just grab the needed resource for you, right? AI can just do it effortlessly. Now, this is the part where the AI automation actually sucks, okay? So once you get all these tasks eliminated, this is where the AI automation part or the execution part actually starts. And most consulting firms are even paying six figures for people to do the low to moderate effort coordination work. Okay. Um, like there's a lot of things here, a lot of tasks which essentially are repetitive, which essentially are very boring, but still consulting firms have to pay even six figures for people to do that low to moderate stuff, right? Which is boring, repetitive, whatever. Then finally, month one, systemizing what matters. So, in the first week, we just mapped out all the reality. I just got a solid context of how your business operates and how your operations look like whenever a consulting project starts until the consulting project ends. Then, week two, which is about starting to eliminate stuff, to eliminate all these repetitive stuff, to eliminate all these boring manual tasks that cost you time but do not drive you any direct ROI. Okay. Now, finally, in the month one, what's happening is we're going to systemize what matters. Here we finally come down to the actual execution part. And by this point, I'm not trying to automate everything. Like actual execution part, that doesn't mean that everything inside your consulting firm, every operation, every process that you do is just everything's gonna get automated, and you just have to sit in your chair and look at the uh, you look at your computer doing the work itself. It's not a thing, but I'm just trying to make sure the same work isn't being done from scratch every time. So I'll just explain what I mean. The first process, which is let's say the pre-sales. AI can actually auto summarize your discovery calls for you. So let's say all these inside a consulting project, whenever it starts, all these discovery calls that you have with the other person or with the other business, you can just simply use AI to summarize those calls for you. And like AI can just summarize those calls for you, and you can just have this whole recall of whatever you discussed inside that particular discovery call. And it's not like some vague stuff, or that it will just summarize this very generically or in a very generic way or anything like that. It just does it is very on point on summarizing these discovery calls. And then I can just keep a simple library of past proposals and case examples. So it just brings us back to that IP point, that previous project resources, where yeah, I can just keep a simple library of past proposals and all that past resources and all those case examples. So if you just feel like using those past resources once again, you can just tell the AI to find those specific resources for you, and it can just get you that stuff in seconds. Then AI can also draft a first version of proposals so that people aren't starting with a blank page. So let's say you're just crafting or drafting this new proposal for this business. You don't actually have to necessarily start with a blank page every single time. AI can just get a general review or a general idea of what the business is about and how do they operate. AI can just create this whole proposal for you, so that you just have, again, just have that first draft, and all you have to do is just all that judgment and stuff and make some few tweaks here and there according to your understanding. Then humans will only spend time, okay. Humans will only spend time reviewing it, as I said, or not just doing the first drafting, that boring stuff, okay? Second, which is delivery scaffolding. Making sure every project doesn't start in chaos. That basically means a basic project template, something similar to the proposal thing, like the proposal first draft. You can just get a basic project template to organize stuff in a sophisticated way, let's say, and a clear pace. You just have a clear place where the research goes, a standard way insights are documented, and fewer where do I put these resources, where do I put this stuff moments, right? So basically, you just have this by delivery scaffolding. What I mean is, you just have this organized setup of um, organizing every single resource or every single project progress that you have made yet. We can just maintain a record of this whole project, and you can just keep things in a systemized way, right? Then this alone removes a ton of confusion and a lot of back and forth that you have to go through between your team members, and then people have to spend less time organizing work and more time actually doing it. So the work just gets organized by itself. You don't have to make out a lot of efforts there. And again, the coordination part between the project team members just gets really, really easy. Okay. Then comes the IP reuse, which is using password properly. So most consulting firms already have years of good work sitting in their library or sitting in their past projects, but they just don't get to reuse them again. Why? Because the past projects, aren't getting kept in a systemized way, and whenever needed, they just can be pulled out real quick and just used in this new project. Right? It just takes time and a lot of efforts, and who would do that? Right? So I would simply just make all these past projects searchable. Let teams pull examples, slides, and logic from older work really, really easily. Like AI can just do it for you. You just have to command the AI to do it, and then use AI to surface relevant past material instead of guessing who might have it. So this simply saves the firm time and efforts from recreating things that the firm already paid for. Okay. And the fourth one is internal visibility. Half the time, leadership doesn't know what's stuck, managers don't know what's overloaded, people don't know what's already been done, which is a lot of just this coordination BS, and this basically this lack of coordination, right? So what I do is I just set up simple visibility of what projects are active. Like let's talk about that AI dashboard that I just told you a few minutes before, which is this imaginary dashboard, let's say, and you just have to maintain all those records, your concerning project records in that dashboard. So it just includes what projects are active, what stage they're in, what tasks or what processes have been completed already, and where exactly do they stand in this project timeline. Okay. And where things are slowing down, where things are getting stuck, so that we can just reevaluate stuff and we can just self-reflect on whatever's getting stuck, whatever is causing the problem, and we can just solve it once again. Okay. So this is quite an essential step, just so fewer things fall through the cracks. Okay. Less cracks, less leakage of progress. So that's what exactly happens in the month one of just systemizing what matters. Just systemizing everything, systemizing these particular processes inside. Like these are the most common ones that I've come across, and basically just getting all these processes in a systematic way so that the coordination stuff gets easier, the progress becomes more effortless and more efficient. The third one, you just have to spend less time doing this manual, boring kind of work that just burns you out and doesn't provide you the direct ROI. Okay. And so that you don't have to unnecessarily just go back and forth with your team members to manage and coordinate tasks, right? So this was the whole plan for this month one. Week one, mapping reality. Week two, start eliminating stuff, and month one, systemizing what matters. Basically, here comes the automation part, right? Now, after this month one, what happens now? After the first month, nothing magical happens, which might be very expected. That you might expect that once the month one comes and we actually automate all these four processes, this pre-sales, delivery, scaffolding, IP reuse, and this internal visibility, then just something magical will happen. Your team will just magically save 20 to 30 or 30 to 40 hours a month, like this, and a lot of your work will just get eliminated in front of your eyes. But that's not how it works. It's just like things just run with less confusion. Okay. Simply, if I just take an example of this pre-sales method, this pre-sales process, sorry. So it isn't like the whole process is getting automated and you don't have to do anything related to this process. This isn't how it works, right? What I said is AI can just auto summarize discovery calls for you. AI can keep a simple library of past proposals and case examples, and AI can use AI to draft a first version of proposals so people aren't starting with a blank page. That's what I said. And what this means is that eventually you'll have to do the judgment, the decision making, the actually controlling AI part, right? So it isn't like your purpose or your roles actually just get eliminated. They just evolve to controlling AI to do the work for you and just you doing the necessary judgment, the required decision making part. Okay. So people are just going to repeat themselves less because there is less manual work and less repetitive stuff that you have to do again and again and again for every single consulting project. And you just notice a couple of extra hours saved. Okay, that just depends on how much of that manual repetitive work you were already doing and what part of it or what portion of it can AI actually replace on its own so that we can eventually determine how many extra hours you save. Okay. So that was the whole video. That was the whole concept of what I would automate a consulting firm if I walked in today. Like that's the simple way, or that's the simple method through which I operate, with which I operate, and with which I actually, with what I find really efficient and really seamless when it comes to AI consulting for a consulting firm, right? So that's the whole thing. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I really hope you got to know a lot of stuff here. And now, if you're just a consulting firm owner who's looking forward to implement these kind of stuff or these AI solutions for yourself or for your consulting firm, and if you even if you just want me to just come in and consult your consulting firm on ways or on processes or on methods by which you can use AI into your business and automate a lot of stuff, just eliminate a lot of stuff and make things for you and your team real easier, and so that you just have to do less work that burns you out and more work that actually drives the direct ROI for you. Then you can just check the this video's description. I'll just drop a link there, which is just a call scheduling link, so that we can just schedule a quick call together, a quick conversation together, and we can just discuss and discover ideas where AI can just transform your business, or AI can actually help your business. AI can just enter your operating system and change a lot of things here and there to just eventually save you a lot of time and efforts. Okay, so that was the whole video. I really hope I was articulate throughout it, and I really hope I was successful in conveying my ideas to you. So that's what the whole video was about. Now I'll just see you in the next one, and that's it. Okay, bye bye.